Hello everyone, welcome to CDI-PC Domain Migration Demo. In this video, we are going to talk about backups to be taken before migration, how to download installer for CDI-PC, what are the prereqs before migration, what is the security and configuration, details required in migration process, and at last, we will see visual representation of migration process. Now let's talk about backups to be taken before migration. We have to take backup of certain Power Center related installation files, which are backup of nodemeta.xml file, backup of domains.info file, backup of site key, backup of domain which we are going to migrate, and backup of Power Center repository content. Now coming to download installer section, to download the installer for CDI-PC, log into IACS UI and click on Cloud Data Integration for Power Center. This will take us to home page of CDI-PC where we can download installer for server, command line utilities, client, or OS like Windows and Linux. For demo purpose, we have downloaded server package for Linux operating system and we have unzipped it using tar command. Now let's talk about pre-requirement before starting migration. There should be self-signed or CA-signed certificate with proper sign entries for domain and secure agent machine. We have to exchange certificate between domain and secure agent machines. Domain should be TLS enabled and it should be running in supported version. IP should be whitelisted to connect to IDMC on secure agent machine. Domain must include Power Center services that are supported for migration. If your domain include any such services which are not supported by CDI-PC, then you can split the domain to create another Informatica domain having supported services. For more information, you can check the KB article for PAM resources, or you can check the Informatica document for a split domain. Now let's see what are the security and configuration. To check the security and configuration, log into IACS administrator and go to runtime environment. Then select the security and group. Then we can see what are the services which are enabled. For CDI-PC, we need certain services to be enabled for that proper security and group. These are Domain Management app, Cloud Data Validation, PC to CDI Modernization app. Apart from this, we have to configure key store and trust store certificate details along with its password under system configuration for secure agent in IACS administrator. Now let's see what are the details asked in migration process. When we will run the installer, it will ask for current Power Center installation directory, domain username and password, directory for CDI-PC, directory where you want to store the CDI-PC encryption key, path and file name of custom key store file, and custom key store password. Now let's start the demo. Before we start running the installer, we have to make sure that our Power Center repository service and Power Center integration service are up and running. As we can see, Power Center integration service is available, repository service is also available. Current Power Center version is 10.5.3, which is a supported Power Center version. Now we can log into Linux server and we can start running the installer. So I have already downloaded the CDI-PC install package and it is unzipped in software directory. Now in the install package, there is a script named install.sh. This is script we have to run, which can migrate the CDI-PC domain. On execution, we can see there is an error which is regarding environment variable related to current Linux machine. So before we start running the installer, we have to make sure that all the environment variables should be unset because post migration we have to set with the proper CDI-PC values. So we have to unset the values for infra home, infra node name, infra domain file before we start the installation. So for this machine, I have already set the infra home value, which is related to current Power Center installation. So I'm going to unset the infra home value now. Now we can again try running the installer file. On running, it is asking for two options. First is install CDI-PC, second is to migrate to CDI-PC. Here we have to select the second option because we are going to migrate to CDI-PC. Now it will download the installation related binaries and it will check this prereq for the system also. So it is asking that verify the prereq before you migrate to CDI-PC. So domain should be in supported version. Domain should be running on supported OS and DB. Domain should have only supported services. Take the few backups which are needed. We can, if we have already checked everything and we've taken the backup, we can press enter to continue. Now it is asking for current Power Center installation directory. So currently Power Center is installed in this directory. On entering the Power Center installation directory, it will give us the Informatica domain details. Domain name we can get name, gateway, node host name, node port number. Now it will ask for domain username and password. On verifying the domain username and password, it will give certain migration assessment result. That we can see that it is saying operating system, domain and services are running on supported operating system. Now we can press enter to continue the migration. Now it is asking the directory for CDI-PC. So we have to give the proper directory where we want to store the CDI-PC related binaries. It is asking for the full path to restore the CDI-PC encryption key. We can give the same path. Now it will ask for the path and file of custom key store file. So custom key store file is placed in this directory with the name info underscore keystore.jks. Now we have to give the custom key store password. Now it will extract the CDI-PC related binaries. We have to wait for some time to complete this installation process. So once we are done with the migration of CDI-PC here, we have to log into ICS administrator and we have to register the domain with the proper secure agent group. So we can see extracting is 100% completed. Now it is trying to ping the CDI-PC domain. If it is able to get the result, it means CDI-PC domain is up and running and domain is migrated to CDI-PC. So we can see migration status is warning. We can check the log for any information and we can log into Informatica Administrator again. So we are not able to connect to Informatica Administrator. It means we have to restart the domain post migration. So first we will press enter to exit the installer and then we can go to CDI-PC home directory and we can run infra services to start the domain. So post migration, it has created a folder name Informatica under CD_PC directory where we can get all the CDI-PC related folders and installed files. So this is our new CDI-PC home directory. We can set the new infra home post running the infra services.sh. So as we know, similar like Power Center, we can get the infra service.sh file in tomcat/bin directory. So we can set the value info home in the bash profile. Now we can see the version is changed from 10.5.3 to 202308, which is CDI-PC version. If we will try to log into CDI-PC administrator, it will throw error domain is not connected to Informatica IDMC. It means it is not able to connect to IDMC because we have not registered domain in secure agent. For that, we have to log into IACS UI and we have to register the domain with the secure agent. So now we will log into IACS UI. After login, we have to go to cloud data integration for Power Center. Then we will see the option register a domain. We have to click on new domain. We have to give all domain related details. We have to give domain display name also. It will use that name to display the domain information in CDI-PC. We have to select the proper security group under which we are going to register the domain. After giving all the details, first we can try to validate these values. If it is able to pass the validation, then we can register it. While validation, it will ask for the domain password. It is able to validate. We can see validation is succeeded. Now we can register the domain. So now we can see the domain registration is succeeded. We can search the registered domain using domain display name. So now we can see domain is registered and the domain is available also. We can click on the domain name, domain display name. We can see all the details regarding the domain and what are the services which are running. Here it will also give about the version, what is the current version, what is the next available update. If there is any update is available, we can we can provide the update to domain also. We can check the update plan also here. So this CDI PC home page is actually a kind of monitoring the domain related information. We can provide the update to domain. We can check the status of the services. So hence we are able to successfully migrate the domain to CDI PC and we are able to register the domain. Now we can again try to log into administrator. We can check the status of repository service as well as integration service. So repository service is available. Integration service is also available. We can check the license edition. Now we can see edition is changed to cloud data integration for Power Center edition. Now we can try to connect to domain through CDI-PC client. So as discussed already, we can download the client package from CDI-PC homepage in IACS. We'll go in the installer section. We can see the client package for Windows so that we can install. I have already installed in my system. So now we will try to connect to domain through CDI-PC client. So We will try to configure the domain here. Now we can see the repositories which are using this domain. So we can select the repository. We can try to connect the repository now. Hence, we are able to connect the repository through CDI-PC client. Thank you.